with respect to the Obama administration as they came to power is they have moved to take down a lot of those policies we put in place that kept the nation safe for nearly 8 years from a follow-on terrorist attack like 9/11.
You could turn on the TV any night, and it's like the Cheney show. He's out there, and he's on the talk shows defending his program. You know, he's been dubbed the vice president of torture, and rightfully so.
Today on Face the Nation, former Vice President Dick Cheney, and he's talking. His old boss, George Bush, has left town and is keeping quiet, but Dick Cheney is not.
It was about finding out what al-Qaeda was going to do, what their capabilities and plans were. It was discovering all those things we needed in order to be able to go defeat al-Qaeda. And in effect, what's happening here, when you get rid of enhanced interrogation techniques, for example, or the terrorist surveillance program, you reduce the intelligence flow to the intelligence community upon which we base those policies that were so successful.
De satirische Daily Show is er wel weer blij mee.
You may have noticed in the last 3 months, former Howard Hughes-like Vice President Richard Cheney has been on television so much you'd think he was promoting a new sitcom. Which brings us to our brand new segment.
Martelen, een woord te boorden. En op internet kun je precies zien hoe het moet. Er is ook een artistieke variant van Amnesty International. Maar erg happig om de verantwoordelijken te vervolgen of om de zaak diepgravend te onderzoeken is de regering Obama niet. Michael Otterman, schrijver van American Torture, begrijpt dat wel.
Because he's a new president, and he's in his view and his administration's view seeking to, build bridges at the moment where these prosecutions will be highly damaging, not just for Republicans actually, but for Democrats as well.
Who knew?
Who knew? Because Nancy Pelosi and others were briefed in 2003 on the use of waterboarding and other enhanced, quote-unquote, techniques.
Waterboarding violates our ideals and our values. I do believe that it is torture. We could have gotten this information in other ways.
Obama heeft zich wel scherp uitgesproken, maar wat hij heeft gedaan, eigenlijk alleen het openbaar maken van de oude martelmemo's van het ministerie van Justitie. Een handleiding voor creatief martelen.
What was probably most surprising was, it mentions inserting insects into these confinement boxes, which essentially it's drawing upon a paradigm put forth by George Orwell. In 1984, you have Room 101, where your greatest fear is exploited. That's essentially what the CIA was doing. They had psychologists study the fears and weaknesses of these detainees, and over the course of the study, they discovered this one detainee, Abu Zubaydah, was afraid of bugs. So they engineered a torture program revolving around the use of bugs. So this is literally torn from the pages of 1984.
Maar ook de juristen die dat stuk schreven worden niet vervolgd.
These two lawyers, John Yoo, who is now a law professor in California, and Jay Bybee, now a federal appeals court judge in Nevada, should be disciplined by state bar associations for their actions, but they should not be prosecuted. This is the only outstanding Justice Department investigation, so it means that it is highly unlikely that the Attorney General will open up another investigation, highly unlikely this will lead to prosecutions.
En er is er nog een reden voor politieke voorzichtigheid. Martelen is helemaal niet impopulair in Amerika.
Polls show currently about 50% support the use of torture in quote-unquote ticking time bomb situations.
What happened?
In de verdediging van de martelpraktijk onder Bush voortdurend de figuur Jack Bauer van de serie 24.
The following takes place between 12 p.m. and 1.
And behind me is the nuclear blast.
These are situations that are shown on television where there's a bomb discovered. It's literally, it's ticking. There's a big, bright screen flashing numbers. And they need to know the special code to turn it off, or else, you know, all of LA is destroyed. Again, this is good television. You get, you know, 24 was a very popular show. But the reality is, there's never actually been a situation like this.
Martelen als amusement. En het heeft veel Amerikanen overtuigd van het nut van martelen. En de serie is een krachtige steun in de rug voor de argumenten van Dick Cheney.
Take this to 7 cc's. You will experience pain I can't even describe. At 8 cc's, I run the risk of inducing a heart attack.
And we were resorted, for example, to waterboarding, which is the source of much of the controversy, with only 3 individuals. And in those cases, it was only after we'd gone through all of the other steps in the process.
And he doesn't mind being Mr. Torture?
I don't think so. I mean, I think he doesn't at all. He's not running for anything. He's certainly not softening the edges
No, you
of
can
his
hear
reputation.
that. You can see the snarl listening to him on radio. That Daryl Hammond thing, you know. He has that snarl. Richard Dreyfuss does the same thing in the movies.
En dit was er een journalist die het ook probeerde.
More journalists have been waterboarded than actual terrorists.
I have a list of people I'd like to have here at Fox.
Would you consent to be waterboarded so we can get the truth out of you?
Yeah, sure.
We can waterboard you?
Sure.
Or are you busy on Sunday?
I'll do it for charity.
Maar deze journalist zal het niet snel herhalen. Ook niet voor liefdadigheid.
All right, are you breathing? Relax. Bring your lamp. Bring it up on your side.